Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. I just thought I'd do a quick review of a recent ARC that I've been approved for. I was kindly accepted to be one of the ARC readers for Mages of Ruined City by N. Sonia Nkara. So there'll be a few reading vlog clips and then I'll give you a review at the end. All I know going into this book to start off with is that it's sort of a fantasy, first book in like a fantasy duology. I know that it sort of involves like gangs and things, but I don't know a huge amount about it. It's been a little while since I read the synopsis and I sort of wanted to go into it a little bit blind. So yeah, enjoy the rest of the video and I will be back with you with some clips of me reading and then a review at the end. Hey guys, I hope you'll excuse the appearance and the not great lighting. It is quite late currently as I'm filming this update. Just wanted to update you quickly on where I'm at with the Mages of Ruined City. So far I'm really enjoying it. I'm about 11% of the way through. I'm on, just started chapter 5, so not too far into it, but made a decent start at least. And yeah, so far I'm finding it really enjoying and quite compelling. I think what I've read so far, I'm really enjoying the world building. I think that's quite well done, and I quite enjoy the writing style as well. It sort of, I feel like it sort of bridges that gap where it's not quite a YA romantasy, which is sort of what a lot of my history with sort of fantasy settings has been up until fairly recently. I think Brandon Sanderson is one of the first sort of straight up fantasy books I've read, and this sort of feels like it would be a good bridging of that gap where it's sort of the, oh excuse the plaster on my finger by the way, I had a fight with a bread knife and the bread knife won. Yeah, it feels like it sort of bridges that gap between YA and sort of a more adult fantasy. The world building is really good. I find it really easy to sort of picture the settings that we're in with our characters. So far I'm really enjoying sort of both of the main characters that we follow. We follow Carice and Sar, and it's dual POV, which I'm quite liking. I've not had a lot of experience with reading dual POV books before, and I am finding that quite enjoyable, and so far, as I said, I'm finding it enjoyable and compelling, and the writing is you know, pretty good, especially considering that English isn't this author's first language and this is a debut. I just think it's going well so far. I would read more, but I'm finding that I'm having to like reread sentences, and I think that's no comment on sort of the writing. I think that's just I'm a bit tired, and you know when you sort of can't focus in properly. So I think I'm going to leave it on chapter 5 for tonight, and I'm going to just watch some YouTube videos for a bit before I go to bed, and then tomorrow's an editing day, so I don't know how much I'll get read tomorrow, but if I do read anything I will do another update. But yeah, I'm enjoying it. I think it's good so far. We'll see how it goes. It's sort of thing already at sort of 10%, things are ramping up a little bit, so I am excited to see where things go. I think it'll be quite like a fast-paced read. I don't think it's too long either. I can't remember off the top of my head, but I think it's around like the 400-500 page mark, so it's not like a super long book. And I know that it is the first in a duology as well. The author's already working on the second book. So yeah, I'm very interested to see where it goes. Just checking my notes to see if there's anything else that I wrote down. Nope, doesn't look like it. So yeah, that's my update for this evening. I will check in when I've read a bit more, probably after editing tomorrow, or maybe before editing. I might read some sort of like whilst I'm pottering around, getting myself sorted in the morning, but we'll see. So yeah, I've just woken up. I'm gonna have my morning coffee in a Christmas mug because I like big mugs, and read a bit more of Mages of Ruin City before I start editing some videos for the day. So yeah, that'll be me for sort of the next 45 minutes to an hour, and then it'll be upstairs to work on editing, and I'll probably switch over to an audiobook a bit later on because I've got some housework to do. But yeah, I'm going to see how much I can get read today, and obviously I will keep you up to date with how it's going. So I have just finished editing my spooky seasonal challenge TBR video. Just currently waiting on that to export. It's got about an hour left on that. So I'm going to carry on reading Mages of Ruined City, and I will check in with you to let you know how it goes. So it's a little bit later on in the day. I've got most of my editing done. I've got another video that needs editing, but I'll do that a bit later on this evening. I am now at the 33% mark of Mages of Ruined City. Much like my last update, I'm still really enjoying it. Things are starting to ramp up a bit more now. We're sort of there's a little bit more action happening. We're starting to find out sort of some new things about sort of the world, a little bit more about the magic system. Not a huge amount yet, but I'm hoping we'll sort of get to learn more about all of that as the story continues on. I'm still really liking our characters, Carice and Zar, and we're also now getting a bit more from some of the other characters. I'm liking Senna. We've not really seen too much of her, but the scenes that she is in, I'm quite enjoying, and I'm also really liking Mika as well so far. It's turned from like a dual POV to a like 3-person POV. I'm not sure if sort of as the story goes on we're going to get more and more POVs, but yeah, so far I'm enjoying all of the different POVs. There's not one that I sort of like dread reading. I like that we're sort of switching between the 3 of them fairly regularly. It just sort of, it keeps things entertaining. You sort of get to follow the story from different points of view, and I think it's allowing for sort of more to happen a bit quicker, because you're not waiting for that one person to sort of catch up. So yeah, I'm really enjoying it so far. I'm excited to carry on reading it, but I need to make myself some lunch, and I also have a bit of housework that I need to do today as well. So yeah, but 33% of the way through, so a third done. Still really enjoying it. If it carries on the way that it is, it'll be a really solid 4, maybe 4.5 star rating. It'll just be interesting to sort of see how the action ramps up, and obviously sort of see how things conclude. I am expecting a little bit of a cliffhanger, just because I do know that this is going to be part of a duology. But yeah, I'm really enjoying it so far. Hey guys, so I've now finished Mages of Ruined City, so I thought I'd just sit down and give you my final thoughts, sort of, you know, throughout the reading. You'll have hopefully seen a few vlog clips, but this will just sort of be my final wrap up. So this will just be my sort of final wrap up. So Mages of Ruined City, I read that on Kindle, which it took me a little while to read. I'll tell you about the dates and things in a second. But I really struggle with reading on my Kindle. It doesn't feel like it comes as naturally to me. So it does take me longer to get through Kindle books anyway. Just in case you were thinking, oh, it took her ages and she's normally quite a quick reader, so she clearly wasn't enjoying it. I did really love it. But as I said, I struggle with like the Kindle format. So I read it on Kindle. I rated it 5 stars overall. I thought it was really, 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 really good. And I basically from the first page, I was hooked with this book. I thought that the world building was absolutely fantastic. I 100% felt like I was there with our characters, walking the streets of Ruin, sort of experiencing those, like, you know, market city vibes. I could picture everything so vividly. I loved all of our characters, and I loved their dynamics with one another, but also how they interacted with the world at large, and sort of as we sort of got to know them a little bit better, understanding their motivations for why they were doing certain things or acting certain ways. So I thought that was all really well done. I also really enjoyed sort of the political element that we get. There's lots of sort of rival pocket gangs, and obviously they're all sort of, you know, vying for more power. I loved the magic system. I thought the magic system was really cool. There were also, so I would categorise this book primarily as adventure, action and fantasy. There are definitely sort of the seeds of some sort of romance plots, especially the later part of the book. You are sort of getting those sort of like tropey, and I don't mean that in a bad way, just like those sort of tropey romance sort of scenes are cropping up, not in an overwhelming way, just they are here sort of, they're interspersed here and there. And I do think that the next book might focus a little bit more heavily on some of the romance aspects. I'm so excited for book 2, honestly can't wait, because I need to get back into this world and, you know, sort of get back to our characters and see what's going to happen. Just because of how the book ends, like, I was not ready for it to end. I could have read like easily another 150 pages, and like I could have stayed in that world. And, you know, the first book is around 400 pages. I easily could have read another 400 pages. I was just so gripped, and it kept my attention the whole way through. As I said, my only issue was with the format of it being a Kindle book, and that being something I struggled with anyway. That sort of held me up a little bit with my pace, and there were some times where I was like, it wasn't that I wasn't enjoying the book, it's that I wasn't enjoying the reading experience of it being on Kindle. So if the author does end up coming out with a paperback or hardback version of it, it's definitely something I'd be looking to get my hands on. A, as a trophy, but B, I would love to reread it when the second book comes out, but I would really love to reread it physically. I think the process would go a lot faster for me. So I would say that this is definitely a really well executed fantasy, especially considering that it's English isn't the author's first language, and it's also a debut. I thought it was excellent. There were a few little grammatical errors here and there, and a few little typos, but as I was reading it, it hadn't undergone final edits yet. So I would assume that by this point most of those have been picked up and corrected. But again, as I said, with it not being, with English not being this author's first language, there is sort of, I am willing to give a little bit more wiggle room for things like that. It didn't ruin the reading experience for me at all. And I would definitely say, if you are interested in sort of picking up fantasy, maybe you've read a lot of fantasy romance and you're sort of looking for something that's more fantasy than it is romance, or you want to get into fantasy and you're really not into romance, so you want something that's a little bit more digestible, that doesn't throw romance in your face, I would definitely consider giving this a read. I do believe that it's available on Kindle Unlimited as well. So if you do have Kindle Unlimited, it's essentially free. So I'm just editing the Mages of Ruin City reading vlog, and I completely forgot to mention that the book is out now. It came out today, 15th of September, which is hopefully when you're seeing this video. It will massively depend on how long it takes my computer to export it as well. But yeah, so the book's available now, and it is available on Kindle Unlimited if you have that. So yeah, I hope you give it a read. And if you do give it a read, definitely let me know what you think. But yeah, I just wanted to pop in and obviously add that the book is obviously available if you want to give it a go. And as I said, I just thought it was a really well structured, well written, well paced fantasy novel that I thoroughly enjoyed reading. I was reading this from the 6th of September to the 13th of September. Again, that doesn't have a lot to do with the book itself. That is a lot more to do with the reading experience that I had reading it on Kindle, as that's not something that feels natural to me to do things to sort of read on my Kindle. So that sort of slowed things up. So I hope that that's sort of, you know, giving you some food for thought. If it is that you are, I will finish off this video with telling you a little bit what Mages of Ruin City is. So the Mages of Ruin City is a adventure fantasy novel. I think it is aimed at a more young adult audience, that follows a mix of sort of ragtag characters as they sort of solve the mystery, these mysteries that they're facing around sort of magic in this fantasy world that we're in. I don't want to sort of go into it any more than that, because I do definitely think that it's very worthwhile unraveling these things as our characters do. But there are multiple gangs, so you get a lot of the sort of political elements between all of the rival gangs. There's magic, there's, as I said, fantastic world building. So yeah, it is definitely something that's worth picking up if you're in the mood for that. Hope you enjoyed this video. I will be back with another one. I'm currently working on the first episode of my spooky seasonal challenge video series. That will be the first 7 books that I read. I'm hoping to make it 7, that I'm hoping to get out either later on this week or closer towards the end of the month. But I will see you in the next one, and goodbye.